If you have to beg her to respect you, you've already lost, because the truth is, women don't respect men who have no boundaries. They test them. And if you keep failing those tests, don't be surprised when she stops seeing you as a man she admires and starts treating you like a man she can control. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make one thing clear. Respect is not begged for, it's earned. And if you're a man who's constantly feeling overlooked, ignored, or even disrespected in your interactions with women, the problem might not be them. The problem might be the boundaries you never set. See, the truth is, a woman may like you, even love you, but without boundaries she will never truly respect you, and the harsh reality, without respect, love fades fast. So today, I want to give you 5 powerful boundaries that, when you start setting them, will shift how women see you. From just another guy to the man she can't play with. 1. Don't chase consistent disrespect. If she's always making snide remarks, ignoring your texts, playing mind games, or ghosting and returning like a boomerang, stop explaining yourself and start exiting. A woman may test your patience, but when she sees that you tolerate disrespect, she loses interest. Fast set the tone. If you can't speak to me with respect, we don't speak at all. Your time is valuable. Your peace is priceless. You're not a doormat. You're a doorway to greatness, and not everyone gets access. 2. Don't prioritize her over your purpose. Yes, she's beautiful. Yes, she turns heads. But here's the truth. A woman should complement your life, not consume it. When she sees you waking up for your mission, showing up for your dreams, staying committed to your goals, she won't distract you. She'll want to join you. Never cancel the gym, your business meetings, or your spiritual growth just to be available 24/7. Because when she sees that your life doesn't orbit around her, she'll start orbiting around yours. 3. Never reward bad behavior. This one is where most men get it wrong. She gives you the silent treatment. You buy her flowers, she raises her voice at you, you apologize for stressing her out. She flirts with other men, you act unbothered, hoping she'll choose you. Stop, that's not love, that's enabling. You're not punishing her, you're punishing yourself. When you withdraw your energy from manipulation, when you go quiet in the face of chaos, when you respond instead of react, she'll take notice. Women may be emotional, but they deeply respect a man who refuses to feed toxicity. 4. Set limits on physical access. Listen closely. Just because she's willing doesn't mean you always should be. You want her to respect your body, your energy, your aura. Then don't always be available for late, night calls, last, minute hookups, or shallow attention. Be the man who can say no without fear of losing her. Your ability to delay gratification, to control your urges, to protect your sexual energy. It's magnetic. It tells her, I value myself, and if you want me, you'll rise to my standards. That kind of restraint. It doesn't push women away. It makes them lean in. 5. Don't accept emotional inconsistency. One day she loves you, the next she's distant, she's hot, then she's cold, passionate, then detached. If you stay in that cycle, she'll never respect you. Why? Because you've trained her to believe you'll stay no matter how uncertain she is. Emotionally intelligent men don't tolerate instability. They don't do drama disguised as passion. They speak up. They say, look, I care about you, but I don't do confusion. If you're not sure about me, I'm sure this isn't for me. That confidence, that clarity, it tells her she can't manipulate your heart. Men, setting boundaries doesn't make you rude. It makes you rare, and in a world full of men trying to please, the man who leads with respect commands it. So the next time you ask, why doesn't she respect me? First ask, what have I been tolerating? Because when you raise your standards, you don't lose women. You lose the wrong ones, and the right ones, they'll respect you more than ever if she's always making snide remarks, ignoring your texts, playing mind games, or ghosting and returning like a boomerang. Stop explaining yourself and start exiting. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking that by enduring disrespect, they're showing strength, patience, or understanding. But that's not what she sees. She sees weakness. She sees a man who is unsure of his worth, who will stick around even when he's being belittled or emotionally neglected. And deep down, she loses respect for him. Respect is not born out of how much you're willing to take. It's built by how quickly you're willing to walk away from things that devalue you. Every time you let her talk to you like you're beneath her, every time you excuse sarcasm as just her being emotional, every time you accept being put on the back burner, you're training her to believe she can treat you however she wants. A woman can sense the difference between a man who sets standards and one who's afraid to lose her. And trust me, she's more attracted to the one who knows when to say enough. See, the issue isn't that she disrespects you. The issue is that you don't show her what happens when she does. You keep coming back. You keep texting first. You keep trying to fix things that were broken by her, not you. And the more you do that, the less she values your presence. Why? Because what comes easy loses value. If you're always there no matter what motivation does she have to change how she treats you? None. You've got to be the kind of man who doesn't flinch when someone crosses a line. Not with anger, not with begging, but with silence, with space, with distance. Women respect a man who removes himself from low vibrational behavior, a man who doesn't announce his boundaries but enforces them through action, a man who says little but does much. That's the kind of energy that commands respect without even asking for it. Sometimes walking away isn't about punishing her. It's about protecting your peace, because you deserve to be in environments where you're not constantly questioning your value, where you're not decoding every message, wondering if you're being played, or feeling like love is a battlefield you have to survive. Love should never cost you your dignity, and respect should never be something you have to earn through silence and suffering. Women test boundaries. It's not malicious, it's instinctual. They want to know what you'll allow. They want to know if you're emotionally grounded or if you can be manipulated by beauty, charm, or drama. When you stay grounded, when you calmly withdraw instead of lashing out, when you communicate with clarity instead of desperation, that's when she starts to see you differently. That's when she knows you're not just another guy trying to impress her. You're the guy who knows who he is and who won't tolerate being diminished for the sake of approval. It's not your job to constantly prove you're a good man. It's your job to protect your self-respect. The woman who is truly meant for you will never feel threatened by your boundaries. She'll feel safe in them. She'll understand that you walk with purpose, and anyone who walks beside you has to match that energy. She won't play games because she knows she'll lose you, and not because you're bitter or hurt, but because you're centered, clear, and done entertaining anything that disrupts your peace. Yes, she's beautiful. Yes, she turns heads, but the moment you start prioritizing her over your purpose, you begin to lose the very thing that made her attracted to you in the first place. Women are drawn to men who are driven, passionate, focused men who wake up with intention, who move through life with clarity and ambition. The second you put her at the center of your world, she senses the shift. She may not say it, but she feels it, and that feeling slowly chips away at the respect she once had for you. Purpose is what makes a man magnetic. It's the fire in his eyes, the reason behind his discipline, the energy that says, "I'm going somewhere." And that energy is what draws people in. When you start skipping your workouts just to be available for her, when you neglect your projects because she wants more time, when your goals become secondary to her emotional fluctuations. You're teaching her something about you. You're teaching her that her presence is more important than your progress. And that may feel romantic in the beginning, but over time it becomes suffocating for both of you. A woman doesn't want to be the reason you fall off track. She may crave your attention, but deep down she craves your discipline more. She wants to feel that you're a man on a mission, and that being with you means rising to your level, not pulling you down to comfort. When she sees you consistently showing up for your purpose, she learns to respect your time. She learns that she's dating a man who leads his own life with conviction. She understands that to be with you, she needs to align with your path, not interrupt it. Too many men hand over their focus in exchange for validation. They trade structure for spontaneity, thinking that being always available will make them more lovable, but it doesn't. It makes them replaceable. Because the moment you become predictable, the moment you lose that sense of purpose, the mystery fades, the admiration fades, the attraction fades. And all that's left is a man who used to inspire her, now orbiting around her moods, waiting for her approval, abandoning his own dreams in the process. It's not about being cold. It's not about neglecting her. It's about being grounded enough to say, this is what I'm building, this is what I'm committed to, and anyone who walks with me has to respect that. When you speak that way, not with arrogance but with certainty, you activate something different in her. She doesn't see you as needy, she sees you as powerful. She doesn't try to distract you, she wants to support you, because now she knows if she doesn't, someone else will. A man who knows his purpose sets the tone in a relationship. He's not swayed by temporary emotions. He's not desperate for constant affirmation. He's already fulfilled within himself, and that fulfillment overflows into how he loves. He's not clingy. He's committed to his craft, to his growth, to his vision. And that commitment creates an unshakable confidence. It creates a sense of calm that tells her, even if you leave, I won't fall apart. I'll still be building, still evolving, still rising. That's the kind of man who earns deep respect. Not just because he has dreams, but because he lives them daily. Not just because he's ambitious, but because he protects that ambition like it's sacred. And when a woman feels that, when she sees that your purpose isn't something she can toy with, she steps up or she steps out. Either way, you win, because a man rooted in purpose never begs for respect. He becomes the standard for it. This is where most men get it wrong. She gives you the silent treatment, and instead of calling it out or giving her space, you send her flowers. She flirts with other men in front of you, and you brush it off, telling yourself she's just trying to make you jealous. She lashes out emotionally, throws insults, and you try to calm her by apologizing, even when you've done nothing wrong. What you're doing, without realizing it, is rewarding bad behavior, and every time you do it, you lose a little more of her respect. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. If a woman knows she can cross your boundaries, mistreat you, and still get access to your time, energy, affection, and attention, what incentive does she have to change? She doesn't see a man who stands his ground. She sees a man who folds under pressure, a man who fears conflict more than he values self-respect, and that fear is unattractive, not because men shouldn't have emotions, but because a man who can't set emotional limits is not someone she can trust with leadership or stability. Real strength isn't in reacting with anger. It's in responding with calm detachment. When a woman disrespects you, you don't need to yell, argue, or prove a point. You need to go quiet. You need to pull back. You need to show her that bad behavior doesn't get a reward. It gets silence. It gets distance. It gets consequences. And when you do that, something shifts. She begins to understand that your kindness is not weakness, that your attention is earned, not guaranteed. Men who reward bad behavior often think they're preserving the relationship. In reality, they're killing it slowly, because over time the woman begins to view that man as emotionally spineless. She may enjoy the control for a while, but she won't respect the person she can control. And without respect, attraction fades, intimacy fades, love turns into contempt, and then he's left wondering what went wrong, when all along he kept saying yes to behavior that deserved a firm no. You have to understand that boundaries are not punishments. They're mirrors. They reflect how much you value yourself. When you have the courage to say, "This is not acceptable," without fear of being abandoned, you position yourself as someone who's grounded. You're not reacting, you're responding. You're not chasing chaos, you're creating clarity, and that kind of clarity is rare. Don't be the man who apologizes for things he didn't do just to avoid a fight. Don't be the man who says, "That's just how she is every time she disrespects you." Don't be the man who believes that being patient means accepting emotional abuse. Patience is not silence in the face of disrespect. Patience is knowing when to wait and when to walk away. If she calls you names, check her. If she plays mind games, disengage. If she's inconsistent with her emotions, let her know you're not a playground. Not through threats, not through ultimatums, but through consistent action. Words can be ignored, but absence speaks louder. A man who can go quiet, who can disappear from drama, who can remove himself without explanation. That's the man she respects. This isn't about manipulation. It's about emotional discipline. You don't give attention to disrespect. You don't entertain dysfunction. You don't explain your standards. They are evident in how you move. Women aren't wired to respect men who need constant reassurance. They respect the man who sets the tone, even when it's uncomfortable. The man who doesn't yell, doesn't chase, doesn't reward bad energy. Because that man, he's not trying to be liked, he's choosing to be respected. Just because she's willing doesn't mean you always should be. One of the biggest signs of self-respect as a man is how you manage your physical access, how you handle your energy, your body, your desire. Too many men give in to the idea that if a woman offers herself sexually, saying yes is automatic. They think access equals value. But the truth is, the more you give without discretion, the less value you hold in her eyes. When you're always available, always ready, always saying yes without question, she starts to believe there's no mystery, no standard, no self-control. And once she senses that, she may still enjoy you, but the respect. It fades. Women are naturally intuitive. They pick up on the smallest signals. If she can call you at midnight and you're there within minutes, if she can cancel plans and you'll still show up the next day hoping for a different outcome, if she knows all she has to do is dress a certain way to get your attention, she doesn't see a man in control. She sees a man who's being controlled by desire, by need, by the fantasy of what she represents instead of the reality of what she brings to the table. Self-discipline is powerful, it's rare, and in a world where men are constantly portrayed as creatures of impulse, the man who can delay gratification stands out. He doesn't rush, he doesn't fall for surface-level affection. He evaluates, he observes, he makes sure that intimacy comes with emotional connection, mutual respect, and genuine energy, not just physical attraction and temporary chemistry. That man is the one she remembers. That man is the one who commands not just attention, but admiration. Physical access should be earned just like your time, just like your energy, just like your emotional presence. Not because you're trying to play hard to get, but because you understand the value of what you offer. Your body is not for casual validation. Your energy is not for anyone who hasn't proven they can handle it. And the moment you treat yourself that way, she begins to treat you differently. She won't test your boundaries with teasing and empty words. She'll step up her presence. She'll bring more than just attraction. She'll bring effort, clarity, and real investment. You also teach her something powerful when you say no, when you set the pace, when you show her that intimacy isn't something she can manipulate you with. That confidence, that refusal to be moved by temptation, it tells her that your standards are higher than lust. It shows her that you see beyond the moment, beyond the pleasure, beyond the fantasy, and that's what separates a man she plays with from a man she pursues. The man who leads physically without being led emotionally is dangerous in all the right ways. He's not starved for affection. He's not craving approval. He knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to wait for it. He's not easily impressed by curves or compliments. He's impressed by consistency, depth, and honesty. And the woman who sees that in him knows she can't use sex to gain leverage. She has to meet him on a level that's far more valuable: emotional connection, mutual growth, and shared purpose. Holding back doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. Saying no isn't rejection. It's redirection, away from what's shallow and into what's substantial. Women respect the man who respects himself, who doesn't allow his body to be the prize she wins by doing the bare minimum, who doesn't feel pressured to perform just to keep her interested. The man who sees intimacy as sacred, not casual, becomes the kind of man she doesn't just want for the night. He becomes the kind she wants to build with. So if you want her to respect you asterisk, truly respect you asterisk. Don't just raise your voice, raise your standards. Don't just demand more from her, asterisk asterisk. Expect more from yourself, asterisk asterisk. Be the man who doesn't beg for validation, doesn't chase approval, and never trades his values for temporary pleasure. Because when you lead with discipline, confidence, and clarity, respect won't be something you have to ask for asterisk asterisk. It'll be something she gives you willingly, asterisk asterisk, every single time.